Imagine opening your back door after a Louisiana storm. An alligator is crossing the flooded road. A venomous snake is hidden beneath the debris. And on the water, thousands of fire ants have joined into a living raft. Any one of them can send a person to the hospital, but none of them is Louisiana's most dangerous animal. Number 1 is smaller than a fingernail. It can enter a house without a sound, attack the human nervous system, and disappear before anyone realizes the danger was there. Before the countdown begins, lock in your prediction. Would you choose the alligator, the snake, or something much smaller? Put your answer in the comments now before the ranking has a chance to change your mind. Today, we are ranking 15 of Louisiana's most dangerous animals. This is not a contest for the largest teeth. Every position is based on exposure, severity, documented harm, and how difficult the danger is to recognize. In a state where roads cross flooded forests and homes stand beside canals, the animal with the power to kill is not always the animal most likely to cause harm. We begin where the Mississippi River meets the Gulf. At number 15 is the predator most people expect to see much higher, the shark. Bull sharks, blacktips, spinners, and other species move through Louisiana's coastal waters. Bull sharks tolerate low salinity and may enter bays, estuaries, and river mouths. But possibility is not the same as probability. Louisiana has a broad, shallow, sediment-filled coast. People swim here far less often than on the clear, crowded beaches of Florida or California. Confirmed attacks are exceptionally uncommon, and most sharks have no interest in approaching people. Keep bleeding fish away from swimmers, avoid entering the water near active fishing, and never assume a landed shark is harmless. Sharks earn a place because the consequences can be catastrophic. Rarity keeps them at number 15. At number 14 is a danger that prefers sheds, woodpiles, garages, and dark corners: venomous spiders. Louisiana is home to black and brown widow spiders. Their venom affects the nervous system and can produce intense pain, muscle cramping, sweating, and nausea. The spider is not hunting people. Most bites occur when someone unknowingly presses a hand or foot against a web, reaches into stored equipment, or puts on clothing that has been left undisturbed. Shake out gloves, boots, towels, and outdoor clothing. Use care when moving lumber, boxes, or storm debris. Seek medical advice if severe or widespread symptoms develop. Widow venom is medically important, but bites remain uncommon and deaths are extraordinarily rare with modern care. That limited exposure holds spiders at number 14. At number 13, the danger is buried beneath sand or drifting almost invisibly through coastal water: stingrays and jellyfish. Stingrays often rest on the bottom in shallow bays and along the Gulf Coast. A person who steps directly on one may trigger a defensive strike from the serrated spine in its tail. The injury is usually to the foot or lower leg. It can be deep, extremely painful, and contaminated. Jellyfish create a different problem. Sea nettles and other stinging species can be pushed toward beaches, and their nearly invisible tentacles may continue to sting. Most stings are painful rather than life-threatening. The risk rises with an allergic reaction, extensive contact, or an injury near the airway. Shuffle your feet in shallow, sandy water to give rays time to move. Do not touch stranded jellyfish. Leave the water if stinging animals are being reported. These coastal animals cause real injuries, but exposure is seasonal and geographically limited. They remain at number 13. At number 12 is Louisiana's largest wildland predator, the Louisiana black bear. Adult males weigh hundreds of pounds. They are powerful climbers, capable runners, and strong enough to tear into heavy containers. Yet, Louisiana's bear story is mainly one of recovery, not attack. After decades of recovery, bears now move through the Tensas region, the Atchafalaya Basin, agricultural land, and occasionally neighborhoods where food is available. Louisiana wildlife officials have reported no documented black bear attacks on people in the state's recorded history. Most conflicts begin with garbage, pet food, birdseed, deer bait, or an unsecured cooler. Never approach or feed one. Secure attractants. If a bear notices you, stay calm, speak firmly, and back away slowly. Do not run. The bear possesses enormous physical power. Its natural avoidance of people and the absence of documented attacks place it at number 12. The first four animals share the same limitation. They can cause devastating injuries, but most people will never meet them under dangerous conditions. From this point forward, the distance between the animal and everyday life begins to disappear. At number 11 is a predator that has adapted to levees, farmland, suburbs, and the edges of cities: the coyote. Coyotes are intelligent, mobile, and difficult to detect. Their ability to live close to development brings them into conflict with pets far more often than with adult humans. Small dogs near brush or unfenced yards can look like prey. Pet food, garbage, and intentional feeding can teach coyotes to return. Direct attacks on people are rare. The more realistic dangers are pet attacks and contact with a trapped or sick animal. Keep pets close, especially at night. Remove food sources. If a coyote approaches, make yourself visible, shout, and do not reward its curiosity by retreating silently into the house every time. Coyotes rank above bears because they are more widespread around human landscapes, but serious attacks remain unusual. At number 10, Louisiana's danger is hidden beneath leaves, boards, flood debris, and the roots of trees: venomous snakes. The state supports several medically significant species: copperheads, cottonmouths, canebrake rattlesnakes, eastern diamondbacks, pygmy rattlesnakes, and 2 coral snakes. Most snakes avoid confrontation. Many bites occur when someone steps beside an unseen animal, reaches into cover, or attempts to capture or kill a snake that could have been left alone. Floods and hurricanes increase contact by pushing snakes into yards, buildings, vehicles, and debris. A cottonmouth in floodwater is usually searching for the same dry ground, not chasing people. Wear boots and gloves during cleanup. Use a light at night and never pick up a snake, even if it appears dead. A bite requires immediate emergency care. Venom can destroy tissue, disrupt blood clotting, or affect the nervous system. Modern antivenom and the rarity of bites keep snakes at number 10. At number 9 is the animal most closely associated with Louisiana, the American alligator. More than 3 million wild alligators are estimated to live in the state. They occupy marshes, swamps, lakes, ponds, canals, and slow-moving waterways. Wildlife agents remove more than 1,000 nuisance alligators in a typical year. But alligators normally fear people. Louisiana officials describe attacks as rare, and many reported incidents are better understood as close encounters. The danger changes when people feed them. A food-conditioned alligator may approach docks, boats, and yards. Pets are especially vulnerable. Stay back from shorelines at dusk and dawn. Keep dogs leashed and never try to move an alligator from a road or yard. The alligator is Louisiana's most dramatic predator, but millions of animals coexist with people while attacks remain unusual. That gap between fear and real exposure keeps it at number 9. If you predicted the alligator for number 1, this is the first major reversal. Louisiana's most famous predator does not even reach the top half. The next animal is less iconic, far more numerous, and present across the entire state. At number 8 is an invasive animal found in every one of Louisiana's 64 parishes: the feral hog. Louisiana's population is estimated at roughly 700,000. Hogs travel through forests, farms, marsh edges, and hunting land. Large adults carry sharp tusks and can charge when cornered, injured, or defending young. Hunters and landowners face the greatest direct risk, especially when approaching a wounded animal in dense cover. The less visible danger is disease. Hogs can carry swine brucellosis, leptospirosis, trichinella, and other pathogens. State surveillance found evidence of exposure to the bacterium associated with swine brucellosis in about 5%. Infection can occur through blood and body fluids during field dressing. Cuts on the hands create a direct route into the body. Never approach piglets. The sow may be close. Hunters should use protection, avoid contact with fluids, and cook the meat thoroughly. Their numbers, statewide range, physical power, and disease risk move feral hogs above Louisiana's iconic alligator. At number 7, the danger may enter an attic, chimney, barn, or bedroom without leaving an obvious wound. Bats and skunks. These animals are grouped together because they are Louisiana's most important wildlife warning signs for rabies. Rabies attacks the nervous system. Once symptoms appear, the disease is almost always fatal. Prompt wound care and post-exposure vaccination can prevent it, but only if the exposure is recognized. Skunks may bite when cornered. A rabid animal may lose its fear of people, appear disoriented, or become unusually aggressive. Bats create a more complicated problem. Their teeth are small, and a sleeping person or young child may not know an exposure occurred. Never handle either animal with bare hands. If a bat is found with a sleeping person, isolate the room and contact health or animal control professionals. The disease is rare, but the consequence of missing an exposure is extreme. That places bats and skunks at number 7. So far, every danger has required a bite, a wound, or direct contact. Number 6 can become a medical emergency from a single sting. At number 6, the threat rises from the ground in a living raft after heavy rain. Fire ants, bees, wasps, and hornets. Fire ant colonies thrive in lawns, pastures, roadsides, parks, and disturbed soil. When floodwater covers a nest, thousands of ants can link their bodies into a floating mass. Contact with a person, boat, tree, or piece of debris gives the colony a new surface to climb. Fire ants grip the skin and sting repeatedly. Bees, wasps, and hornets may attack together to defend the nest. For someone with a severe allergy, a sting can trigger anaphylaxis within minutes. Watch where you step after flooding. Do not strike a nest. People prescribed epinephrine should keep it accessible and know how to use it. High exposure and the possibility of a rapid allergic emergency place stinging insects at number 6. At number 5, danger comes from animals people work with deliberately: cattle and horses. Louisiana's farms, ranches, and rodeos create daily contact with animals weighing hundreds or even thousands of pounds. A frightened horse can kick, bite, crush, or throw a rider. Cattle can pin a person against the gate, strike with the head, or charge during handling. Bulls are obvious hazards, but cows protecting calves and stressed animals in confined spaces can be just as unpredictable. Many serious incidents begin with an ordinary mistake: a swinging gate, a spooked horse, or a worker trapped during loading. Maintain fences and gates, keep an escape route, and never stand directly behind a horse or inside the blind zone of cattle. These animals rank high, not because they hunt people, but because weight, proximity, and repeated exposure turn a brief mistake into severe trauma. Now the ranking enters its most uncomfortable section. The final 4 animals are not exotic. They are familiar, widespread, and often encountered before anyone recognizes them as a threat. At number 4 is the animal Louisiana residents are most likely to trust: the dog. Dogs live inside homes, guard yards, travel in vehicles, and meet children at face level. That constant proximity creates far more opportunities for injury than most wildlife ever receives. Even a familiar dog may bite when frightened, injured, protecting food, guarding puppies, or startled from sleep. Children are especially vulnerable because they may miss warning signals and often suffer wounds to the head and neck. Powerful bites can tear tissue, damage nerves, cause infection, and leave permanent scarring. Loose dogs may attack pets, cyclists, or pedestrians. Rabies in Louisiana dogs is rare, but any bite still requires immediate cleaning and medical evaluation. Never leave a small child alone with a dog. Ask before touching an unfamiliar animal. Do not reach through a fence or interfere with dogs that are fighting. Dogs rank above Louisiana's wild predators because exposure is constant and serious bites are not rare events. At number 3 is an animal that can turn an empty rural highway into an emergency: the white-tailed deer. Deer are fast, unpredictable, and most active around dawn, dusk, and the autumn breeding season. They feed beside roads and may cross in groups. Swerving may send a vehicle off the road into a tree or into oncoming traffic. Motorcyclists face even greater danger. Louisiana crash records document injury crashes and fatal crashes in which an animal was the most harmful event. Deer account for most large animal road encounters. The animal may remain invisible beyond the headlights until the final second. If one deer crosses, another may follow. Reduce speed in signed areas and near forest edges. Use high beams when legal. Brake firmly while maintaining the lane rather than making an uncontrolled swerve. Deer rarely attack people on foot. Their danger comes from placing 100 pounds of moving wildlife directly into the path of a vehicle. Frequency, speed, and the severity of secondary crashes place deer at number 3. The largest visible dangers are now behind us. Louisiana's top 2 can make contact without pain, remain unnoticed, and cause consequences long after the animal is gone. At number 2 is an animal that may remain attached for hours without being noticed: the tick. Louisiana has at least 5 hard tick species of public health concern, including the Lone Star, Gulf Coast, and American dog tick. They occupy grass, brush, forest edges, hunting land, and yards. Louisiana has far fewer Lyme disease cases than the Northeast, but ticks here can transmit other infections, including ehrlichiosis, spotted fever group illnesses, and tularemia. The Lone Star tick is also associated with alpha-gal syndrome, an allergy to mammalian meat and products that may appear hours after eating. The bite is usually painless, and early symptoms can resemble an ordinary fever. Use repellent, wear long clothing and brush, and check hidden areas after outdoor activity. Remove attached ticks with fine-tipped tweezers. Ticks rank above deer because exposure is widespread, the bite can be invisible, and one small parasite can create months or years of consequences. But Louisiana's number 1 animal does not wait on a branch or forest path. It develops wherever water is allowed to stand. At number 1 is the mosquito. Louisiana's heat, rainfall, wetlands, canals, containers, and flood-prone neighborhoods create ideal breeding conditions. The bite itself is minor. The danger is what the mosquito can carry. West Nile virus has circulated actively in Louisiana since it was first detected in 2002. Most infected people never feel sick. Some develop fever, headache, body aches, or nausea. A small percentage develop neuroinvasive disease. The virus reaches the brain and spinal cord, causing encephalitis, meningitis, weakness, paralysis, coma, permanent disability, or death. Louisiana's 2024 surveillance recorded dozens of human West Nile illnesses, including 37 neuroinvasive cases and 3 deaths. The mosquito wins this ranking because exposure is almost universal. It does not need wilderness. It can emerge from a bucket, clogged gutter, neglected pool, flower pot tray, or water trapped on a discarded tire. Empty standing water each week. Repair screens. Use an effective repellent. Wear long sleeves when mosquitoes are most active, and protect older adults and people with medical conditions who face a greater risk of severe West Nile disease. Louisiana's most dangerous animal is not the one creating the largest wake in the bayou. It is the one that can land without being felt, feed in seconds, and disappear before the danger begins. The shark has greater teeth. The bear has greater strength. The alligator has greater power. But real danger is created by proximity, frequency, hidden exposure, and consequence. In Louisiana, the animals people fear most are often easier to see and easier to avoid. The animals at the top of the list are dangerous because they are already part of the landscape around homes, roads, farms, and backyards. Now compare the ranking with the prediction you made at the beginning. Did you identify the mosquito, or did the alligator convince you? And if you disagree, do not just name one animal. Tell us which animal should move higher, which one should move lower, and why. The strongest argument may change how we build the next ranking. Then, nominate the next American state or region. We are looking for a place with wildlife most viewers would never expect.